Welcome to the Sunday morning show, everybody, and in particular, welcome to PXG. Now, I'm starting today's Sunday morning show here at HQ up here in London. I want to share my experience of today, but I've also brought up with me, Bernie has arrived with me, PXG, 5:30 start this morning, pick up, and we're up here to do some fittings, aren't we?
We are, yeah. I'm looking forward to this one. I like PXG as a make and a brand. They've changed the way they operate and how they are now more sort of consumer, direct-to-consumer, sales driven, which is brilliant, similar to Sub 70, and I'm looking forward to looking in their new facility that's just opened. Did you get that one? That was a shank.
So what we're actually doing here today, I want to show you around their store to start with. We can't actually go inside the actual, because you've got goods in and goods out over here as well. So this is actually where they build the equipment. Everything goes on up here. We've got a shop inside, and then through the back, which I'll take you through in just a moment, we've got their studio, which is 2 studios, so fitting studios. They do loft and lie kind of checks, so they'll check all your clubs, swing weight, all of that side of things. You can book in for that, but they also do obviously their fitting of their new Black Ops, which is their new driver for this year. A little dark, but studio number 1. And this is kind of like your spec bay, should we call it. We've got swing weight machine just in here. We've got the ruler just there to measure up the weight of your clubs, but also the length of your clubs. And then we've got a loft and lie machine here as well, so we can sort of tweak up their loft and lies. Just check out your specs, see how you're kind of getting on. And then if we go further on through, we've now got, this is where I'm going to be spending most of the morning, so this is where we've got all of the heads and shafts in this particular one. I mean, it is literally like a sweet shop in here. There are all the different Black Ops stuff over in the corner there, all the different generations that they keep in some of the drawers as well, so you can have a little look at some of the previous stuff. They've got wedges. What I do like, I just love the full face. I think the full face option is such a good option for people to have in their bags, especially when you're sliding across it and you're coming out of those bunkers. But for me, what I really like today is I really love the look of the new blade. I think that is absolutely stunning. That weight port in the back there enables you to be able to change the weight, so change the swing weight throughout your fitting, which I actually think is really important. We've actually got their CB head as well. Again, beautiful looking head, a little bit thicker on that top line there. Again, weight port in the back there to be able to change the swing weights of that. And then we've got their kind of combo one really, which is their T version, which is actually kind of like a hollow body construction using tungsten weight positioning in different places. It looks just like the blade. Gotta say, it looks just like the blade, and then looks wise a little bit quieter on the top there than what we're seeing at the CB, but again, beautiful looking head. So that's the 3 clubs that I want to test out today. And then we do have the Black Ops driver. This is their new driver. What I do like again about this, and I'm looking forward to getting in and doing the testing, but we've got weight ports both in the toe and the heel. Again, being able to move that weight around I think is really important. And then you've got a weight port at the back there for MOI, so pushing yourself more into a fade bias, pushing yourself to more of a heel bias, and then obviously more MOI at the back there. Again, loads of companies going with more sliding weight, PXG focusing on weight ports, so looking forward to seeing how that one performs. Yeah. First swing, first impressions, like properly soft.
Yeah.
Like super soft.
Yeah, very soft.
This one definitely, like you said, it feels like almost like a more compact head.
Yeah.
Slightly thicker on that top line there. But again, quite similar in the shape. Oh, again, stunning feel. So soft, isn't it? God, it looks like the red arrows up there, doesn't it? I mean, 3 out of the 4 shots there, we're not far away from that line, are we?
No, yeah, very similar.
So I figured that we would have just a little brief on... you never know what I'm going to say. You never know what I'm going to say.
I just want to laugh. Like people say you're not funny, but you make me laugh.
So nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period. Okay? Yeah. Now this is kind of like the motto that Mr. Bob Parsons, right behind us here,
Which has been from the start.
It has been.
Yeah, they've not changed that, have they? I mean, some companies change, but they've kept that.
What is fascinating about the story of PXG for me is, you know, if you go through all the golf manufacturers, like there's huge amounts of history, and there's so many golf manufacturers that have been and gone throughout the years. However, PXG have been going 8 years. 2017.
I honestly thought they'd been going longer than that.
No,
if you'd have said to me how long they've been going, I'd have said 15 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
It amazes me how they've developed in such a small and short period of time.
So the story behind this is Bob Parsons was the owner of GoDaddy, I believe, and sold that on, was a massively keen golfer. And he used to play a lot of golf with a guy that used to work for Ping, and they were out on the golf course one day. He used to spend lots of money on his equipment, and decided, do you know what, why don't we create our own product? And this is basically the birth then of PXG and how that kicked off from there. His wife Renee, she is very much involved in the apparel side of things. So Bob focuses very much on the hardware, Renee focuses very much on the apparel. But what's also pretty cool, they keep their sets here in London. So when they're traveling, they got a set here in London. So if they ever turn up, they can always grab their set, which is spec'd up perfectly for what they need for their equipment, and then they get out and play their golf. And this Gen 5 7-iron is the first club built at this PXG, well, basically HQ here in the UK, on Wednesday, 4th of May, 2022. So this is when this place first opened. However, in November, they created this store, which, as we talked about from the apparel side of things, this is what they're focused on. And one of the big things that you'll notice with PXG is their camo gear. And there's a story behind their camo gear as well. So all this camo is basically the holes at Scottsdale National Golf Club. And the holes have been sort of pushed together, and this is how they create all their camouflage patterning on each of these golf bags, which again is where Bob Parsons and his wife play all their golf when they're home in Arizona.
If you beat our driver, get $100 or £100 equivalent. And that I guess that shows how confident we are in the product. And it's just good to more exposure, get more people hitting it, talking about it. It's your fastest ball speed.
That just felt good. Oh, Bernie, what a morning. What a day we've had here at PXG. And we've got some goodies. Look at you come out there with a little goodie bag.
Help myself.
Look at that.
We better get away before they come searching for us.
Well, one of the things that they're going to be doing here as of March is you can come to London, you can come to their testing centre. I think it's on for like a month or so. And you can actually bring your driver, and they reckon they can beat your driver.
Yeah, £100 challenge.
If they don't beat your driver, you get £100 to spend
in the store.
Oh, well, what a trip that was to PXG. And when you're there, always make sure you pick up something from the shop. I've got a few bits that I want to share with you that we picked up. Just nice to be on the road again, I think, in 2024. Nice to actually get out and about and get something achieved, which Lester managed to get 2 videos. I managed to get 2 videos, and then trying to create the Sunday morning show alongside it. So, first thing that I got, obviously you saw it probably from the video, was a new hat. I thought that was just something I needed. I've got loads and loads of Titleist and FootJoy hats, which my brother's got his eye on. So I just thought it'd be quite nice to pick up one of those. I actually picked up as well, and they've wrapped it for us. It's like literally like Christmas. A new putter head cover. Now, for those of you that know, I do like a good head cover. So this one, Union Jack PXG, got the magnets inside, which keeps it nice and secure on your putter. So that one will fit nicely on the Newport 2. Poker chip. In fact, just let me, whilst I'm on the word of poker chip, I have just had a huge delivery of poker chips myself. Now, the idea of this poker chip, if you can see there, it's got follow our YouTube and the DHG logo. And then on the back of that poker chip is this scan code, QR code, that people can kind of scan, and it takes them directly to the channel, and hopefully they'll subscribe. Now, I ordered 10,300 of these chips, got them at a pretty impressive price, but we got them shipped over, and they're kind of to be thrown around golf courses whenever I get to different venues. And hopefully the idea of this is to share with people our channel, just like a kind of marketing idea. Because if at the end of the day, if you throw a business card around, number one, you're probably going to upset the local pro that you're there with. It's a kind of frowned upon. If you pop these around on the golf course and leave them on tee boxes, leave them on putting greens, things like that, hopefully people will pick them up because it's a poker chip, it's a ball marker, and they'll just look at it and hopefully scan it and share it with their friends that they're playing golf with that particular day. So just a bit of a marketing kind of idea, really. And basically, for those of you that know a little bit about the membership area of the channel, this is what I'm using kind of the membership money to put it towards our marketing campaign. So if you see any adverts that you see out on Facebook ads and things like that, and then also little opportunities like this is where we put that money towards. And it's actually really important that people are aware of where that money goes to. So it's actually, the idea of it is to grow the channel through the membership area. And then we also have a dozen of the PXG balls. Now these are the balls that we were using during the fitting. And for those of you that know, I've actually done a review. It was coming up to probably a year ago now. Myself and James Ruth were over in Turkey. I dragged him over for a day of filming, and we went and reviewed the PXG ball. So, and I think, if I remember, I think we both came up with the conclusion that actually it's a very, very good ball, and one of which people should actually try if they get a chance to get their hands on them. So for those of you that love PXG, you'll probably love the new golf ball that they've got out. Well, when I say new, it's about a year in now. And then my little delight. Now, I have got this strange kind of fetish with backpacks. I don't know why. I think it's because of all the traveling that I do. I kind of get into this sort of frame of mind that I need a new backpack to go traveling with or carry some cameras. Now, PXG have got this absolutely, well, it is just, as far as I'm concerned, it is a piece of art. It's called the Darkness Troops backpack. They got it in two different colors that I could see from the store. They had the kind of camo-y kind of colors, very much like an army kind of theme. And then they have this black backpack, which I went for. It's just solid, like traveling around, throwing bags around, keeping your cameras in them is really, really important, and keeping them nice and safe is obviously important. So I found this one in the store, popped it on the back, tested it out and thought, do you know what? I've got to have it. So we got ourselves a new PXG backpack. Now moving on, I do want to share with you a bit of an update on exactly how we're getting on with my back garden. The weather recently has been pretty poor and we've got to a kind of a stopping point, but I just wanted to give you a bit of an update because I know some of you have been asking for that update. The other thing I want to mention is a new kind of second-hand equipment, used equipment kind of review that I've been doing. Now, it came out last week. I reviewed the 2009 Callaway X-Forged irons. These are irons that I got when I first turned professional. It's kind of like one of those kids in a sweet shop type of thing, again, where you turn pro, you get everything at like cost price, so you go and buy yourself a new set of irons. Now, I bought these irons, like I said, back in 2009, and I've kept them ever since. And I've decided now to kind of start doing a bit of a second-hand used clubs kind of review, because if I'm brutally honest, equipment is getting so expensive. It's getting so expensive. I look down into the pro shop downstairs at Churston and I'm thinking to myself, like, it's not even just the sales price of them, it's how much they cost to actually sell them, and then the profit on them is just, it's really poor. So we're going to be focusing on certainly looking at trading equipment down there. And I thought, well, why don't, when those clubs come into the shop, why don't I grab them off the shelf and take them out and do a quick review on them? And last week I did the Callaway, but this next couple of weeks I'm going to be doing the Tour Edge Exotics XCG5 irons. Now, these aren't the ones I used, but I actually use these irons. And when I worked at the pro shop here at Churston as an assistant pro, we were a Foremost shop. So it meant that we were part of the buying group of Foremost, which when you join a buying group, you get opportunities to get involved in kind of like
releases of equipment that you wouldn't necessarily find at an American Golf or online stores and things like that. So it's just purely held for a foremost shop. And we've, at that particular time, we're focusing on Tour Edge. Now, I got really behind the Tour Edge kind of idea because the profit margins were a lot bigger than what you would get from other manufacturers. So when I was doing a lot of my fittings and things like that, I started actually using these clubs myself, and then off the back of that, and this is what I always say to assistant pros, is try and use as much as you possibly can from what you sell in the shop, because ultimately members at the club will want to kind of follow what you do and buy into what you do, and therefore follow the clubs that you're going to use. So I started using these particular irons, and they started selling like hotcakes. So I thought that I would actually go out and do a review of these clubs before I stick them back on the shelf down there in the shop. I reckon from a sales point of view, I reckon you're going to be looking at no more than a full set of these at about 100, 125 pound used. And for those of you that don't want to spend lots and lots of money on new equipment and would rather go down the used front, I think it just opens up a little bit of a door to give you a bit of an insight into what I think about these clubs and how possibly technology has moved on or possibly hasn't moved on. But on that note of moving on, let's head over to my house and give you that update on how we're getting on with my back garden.
And here it is. You know when you've ever done a build and you kind of get to a point and you think, oh yeah, I'm really making progress now, and then you feel like it stalls. This is where we're at right now. And the reason why we've got to a point where it's kind of what feels like it's stalled is more to do with this back bit than anything else. I got it to what I thought was the right level, and actually it wasn't quite the right level, so I had to basically skim all the way along that sort of top surface there, get up all that excess soil, and now I have this like overspill of soil that I now need to lose, probably around the garden somewhere, maybe at the front, don't know, but we'll see. But that's why we've kind of got to a position where we've kind of stalled. However, I thought I'd give you a bird's eye view, top of the roof. This bottom bit, what I've kind of done here is you can see like some almost like looks like tarpaulin down on the bottom there, but it's basically just that kind of garden sheet that goes underneath to stop all the weeds coming up through. So we got the hardcore kind of in, and then I wanted to put this sort of next level down because we're going to be putting on some limestone kind of like a dust stuff that goes on top. I don't know the official word for it. I know it costs about 60 quid a dumpy bag. That's all I know. That then keeps it into a position where I know that the weeds are definitely not going to be coming up through. And then it also shows me exactly how the levels are. So it gives me that kind of like rippling effect along there, which I can then fill up with that limestone. And then the last bit is going to be the actual AstroTurf that goes in, which should only take a day to put it in. That top bit, which is actually really important, basically from where you see over here where the steps are, up to the tree, or the stump of the tree, that's going to be my kind of grass area, because we need a bit of grass area for the dog. And then in that far right hand corner, that's where the net is going to go. And then down here on that part is possibly, we're looking at it at the moment, but we're looking at possibly putting just a shed up in that corner there. So this is the update. This is where we've got to. I hope you've hope it's inspired some of you, because I know some of you have commented to say, Dan, I've been looking to do something like this for ages, and I'm so glad you've kind of come out and shared it with us. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that Sunday morning show. Lester and I making our way up to PXG, actually getting on the road for the first time in 2024 feels really good. I was actually going to be doing a course vlog this week down at Perranporth. We're going to go down there, stay the night, do a kind of course vlog, break pass series, but weather is just really sort of, well, it put us back a little bit, so we're not actually getting the opportunity to get out and play. Golf courses around here have been closed for the last sort of 3 or 4 days, so not a lot of golf getting played. One thing I do want to say though is we are putting together the bus tour series. It's we've got 3 organised as it stands right now. The first one, I'll come up with the dates on it. In fact, I'll put the dates on the ticker bar here, but the dates on it will be in June, where we're going to be doing our Ryder Cup match, Leicester's team versus my team. That'll be at Celtic Manor, which we've got organised. And then we're also going to be heading down to St Mellion. The reason we're going to St Mellion is because this is where lots of people have actually requested for us to head down to St Mellion and do a 2-day bus tour down there. And then the final one, which is a really good one, we're going to be heading out to France. We've got a fantastic trip organised. We're actually going to go on a bus,
probably going to meet up and go out of Portsmouth now. We were thinking about Plymouth, but possibly Portsmouth, and then gives everyone an opportunity to meet kind of more central in the south, get a ferry across to St Malo and play some fantastic golf courses down there. So if you are interested, make sure you send me a quick email, dh@dhgolf.co.uk, if you want to be involved in any of the bus tours, and we'll get some more information sent out to you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again next week on the Sunday morning show. See you later.